Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to our certificate and award ceremony for 2021. All the way from the Western Cape. I'm sitting here, as you can see there in my virtual background, the foothills of the Stellenbosch Mountains in the 𝗔𝗹𝗂𝗺𝗁 vineyards, with a glass of virtual wine next to me, not really. But a very warm welcome to all of you. My name is 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁𝗁𝗺𝗁𝗺. As you probably can see at the bottom of my picture there, I have the honor and the privilege of being your master of ceremonies here this morning. By way of introduction and welcome, I'd like to acknowledge our honored guests with us in attendance here this morning. Firstly, our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. 𝗔𝗹𝗿𝗺𝗺𝗺𝗺, members of EXCO, our keynote speaker this morning, 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁𝗺𝗺𝗺.
You muted, Thijs. You've just muted yourself.
Technology. Somehow I was muted. Kevin, thank you for making a way of that. My wife often says she wishes she had that magic trick as well, just to mute me. That is reciprocal, of course. But so I don't know at what point I was muted. So let me start again. I won't start from the start again, but maybe just by way of introduction and welcome again. I'd like to acknowledge all our guests, our honored guests. Firstly, our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Chris van der Hoofen, members of EXCO, our keynote speaker this morning, 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁𝗺𝗺𝗺, Prof. Tracy White from Lincoln University, members of USB faculty and personnel, and of course, a very special welcome to all our company representatives, family members, and friends who are present here this morning. Finally, and most importantly, a very warm welcome to all our esteemed USB participants. Today is really about you. And it really is a special occasion. We hope that you will savor the moments that an event such as this brings. Before I continue any further, maybe just a couple of housekeeping matters. Firstly, should you need the ladies or the gents, I do apologize. Those are my notes from last year, pre-COVID notes. Seriously, back to 2021. May we ask you to keep your videos on for as much and as long as possible. We know it's always a challenge with bandwidth and Eskom and a whole host of other things, but it is so much better if you can keep your videos on for as long as possible. Please, 𝗔𝗶𝗿𝗁𝗺𝗺𝗺, Tabeso, Natalie, Londiwe, Kandu, Katlego, Vizet, Alberta, come on, Alberta, all the way from Namibia. Barntle, Beulah, Antonio, please, if you wouldn't mind turning on your videos, if at all possible. It is so much nicer speaking to a screen where you can actually see the facial expressions. In real life, Derek, not a virtual picture, in real life. So much easier if we can speak to where we can see the facial expressions rather than just the names on a screen. I am going to ask you to please mute your sound as far as possible. We hate to listen in on your private conversations to your significant others or your boss or whoever else organizing your after party for today. So if you can please make sure that your sound is muted. We are going to get to a point in the process where I am going to ask you to unmute yourselves and then to celebrate. When we get to the point where we announce the top student, the winner of the Directors Award, what is the top team at that point, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and to scream and shout and ululate as loud as you possibly can, just to celebrate with those people and with all the people on the program. And of course, as we go through the formal proceedings, if you could also indicate your joy and your pleasure and your gratitude with the emoji reactions at the bottom of your screen. Show hands and thumbs up and whatever else. Please also maintain the chat. So if you want to send any messages, please do that. Send us messages. We have our marketing team monitoring that, and they will respond and reply to that as well. We're also going to ask you to please post on social media as much as possible. This virtual background, the one that we have, you would have seen in the virtual in the waiting room. So please use that. You can see it there. Chanel's already posted in the chat. Our social media accounts, Laura's also posted there. So Twitter, Facebook, USB Executive Development on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. Please use that and share the celebrations with us. Okay, so just to get back to a sort of a state of calm, just the order of proceedings for this morning. We will start off with a formal welcome from Dr. 𝗔𝗿𝗂𝗺𝗀, as I said, the Chief Executive Officer at USB Executive Development Company. That will be followed by our guest speaker, our keynote address by 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁, and then we commence with a presentation of the various programs, the certificates and awards. We will take a leg stretch at about 10:25, approximately. You know how these things go. At approximately 10:25, we're going to take a very short leg stretch, just enough time for you to go and top up your cup of coffee with your beverage of choice. During this time, though, we are going to ask you to please do not log off. Please do stay online. This is really, it's a 2-hour celebration for all our people, for all the participants on all of our programs. So please, even if you are on the management development program or just completed the management development program, or you have a company representative on the program, please stay online for the full duration of the whole process, till 11:30. It's not that long. It is so much nicer to have a room with 500 odd people rather than just 10 or 20. So if we may please ask you, in the spirit of gratitude and Ubuntu, I think that's just about covered all those formal proceedings. I'm now going to move on, and I'm going to ask Dr. 𝗔𝗿𝗂𝗺𝗀𝗺 to slowly start making his way to the virtual microphone. Maybe just by way of introduction about Chris. There's a lot of things I can tell you about Chris. So Chris has been the CEO at 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁𝗇 since, Chris, I think 2018. So in this time, you know, I can tell you about all Chris's achievements. I can tell you about his education, his PhD, his MBA, you know, the fact that he studied at UCT. I can tell you about all the work that he's done, you know, all the what's. I think in my mind, as always, the most important thing is really about Chris's absolutely clear focus on what is his purpose. So, and I'll quote, Chris says, "I believe in a laser focus on executive development, executive education, to build businesses that can ultimately alleviate poverty." Such a beautiful link in with our keynote address. So I dedicate every working day to putting my colleagues, including partners and vendors and our customers, in the best position to maximize human potential and deliver sustainable, positive outcomes, particularly for South Africa and the African continent. I know, just having worked with Chris over the last couple of years, that his favorite days, his special events, are those days when he can be on the panel, when you as the participants, when you do your business-driven actual learning project presentations, your business case presentations, and events such as this, where he has the opportunity to interact with you and share his knowledge and wisdom. Chris, welcome. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Thijs. And good morning, everybody. It's so terrific to see you all. As Thijs says, such a wonderful occasion. I know that probably what you want, apart from me to briefly say welcome and congratulations, is to get out of the way as fast as possible so that we can hear from 𝗖𝗲𝗄, which is what I'm really looking forward to also. But if you'll just permit me a minute or two, I thought that I should just pass on 2 quick messages. One is about your own future. We talk about an inspiring future, and I know that's you know, inspiration is a word that's bandied around really easily and quite a lot. And I think of an inspiring future in terms of you as an individual. So what do you do with what you've learned and who you've met and how you've engaged and how it's changed you and changed your organization? You know, how do you deal with that going forward? But also to just alert you to an inspiring future in terms of your organization. So rather fortuitously, at USB Ed, we have what we call our client promise. And there's a real danger that as soon as I say something like this, it sounds like another sort of, random business school, random buzzword generator spewing out cliches. And I genuinely want to set your mind at rest that it's not just a cliche. It's, for us, it's a really important thing. So I was thinking about the open enrollment programs. This year I was very privileged because I managed to spend a couple of hours with the executive development program. And I've been on a couple of panels, as Tay said. So I've seen the quality of the work that's been done firsthand, and it's been very, very impressive. And I was reflecting on, so what about our client promise is relevant to the open enrollment program, the kind of program that you've been on. And there's 6 elements altogether. The last 4 are I think, relate to what you've been through. So the intention of the client promise is that we try to embed and amplify your values. The second thing is that we try to refresh your culture, try to help you to touch the hearts and minds of the people that you care about. And lastly, to prepare you for an inspiring future, as I was saying a moment ago. But the first part of the client promise, which puts those 4 elements into context, is we say we seek out long-standing, deep relationships so that together we can design and deliver people development that aligns your purpose and ambition and communicates and operationalizes your strategy. Now you'll see those first 2 elements are really about at an organizational level, but because you are leaders, it's something that you are responsible for. And what I'm adding into the mix here is to just remind you that our client promise is about the deep, long-standing relationships. And quite often, those relationships start here. They have started already in the sessions that you've been in. The relationships are between you and your peers, and between you and the faculty, and between yourself and Tace and my other colleagues, and between all of you and myself. I think it's really important that we recognize this particular moment in time as being the point at which our paths came together and potentially could go forward together. So the deep, long-standing relationship part is very important. The co-development, co-design of interventions that will make a difference in your world is also very important to us. So I'll be done in just a sec. So the 2 messages are: 1, I'm asking you to please keep a lookout for your own inspiring future by coming back to us for the next step in your learning journey. So that's the personal inspiration element. I'm pretty confident that you have been indoctrinating yourself, you've been indoctrinating people around you, and people around you, including the fantastic media, have been indoctrinating all of us around what a terrible year it's been and how hard and etc. and so forth, and all very gloomy, and the whole place is falling to pieces. And by the way, particularly South Africa, we're constantly under this sort of shower of those kind of messages. But the fact of the matter is that if you are able to learn, you are able to change. And if the context changes, which is what's happened this year and last year, if you can learn, you can change. It's as simple as that. So learning to learn and understanding and being able to reflect on those things is absolutely crucial. The central part of an inspiring future for you as an individual is undisputedly your ability to learn. If you don't learn, you don't change. If you close your mind off to learning, you close your mind off to change. That's my view. And the second part of the message is to say, please look to an inspiring future for your EXCO team, your peers, your staff. By reaching out to me, you now know the people that you dealt with in the virtual and real classrooms, those of you that were there. You know those individuals, and if not, you know how to make contact with us, but reach out to me so that we can join hands and do what we need to do in terms of the journey. So I think I can sum all of this up by saying we're very fired up about what we do. It's really important to us. We're looking forward to our next step in terms of our contact with you. So thank you, and once again, warm congratulations to all of you. Thank you, Thais.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. It's always such a pleasure to listen to your words of inspiration. I think just touching on a couple of things that you mentioned, I'm always amazed at the opportunity of networking participants coming on these programs. It's probably one of those almost unintended consequences of this program, but it's such a powerful learning. We talk about learning. I was reminded, I recently saw a quote, and I just actually have it here with me, by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said that learning is not compulsory, neither is survival. So to learn is almost not an option anymore. That's not, we have to. It's just continuously trying to improve ourselves, challenge ourselves by day to day. Chris, thank you very much for that. We are now going to move on, ladies and gentlemen, to inviting our keynote, was our guest speaker to make the keynote address, 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁. So maybe just by way of introduction, so I'm a strong believer in purpose, as you would have gathered from my introduction of Chris as well. So 𝗖𝗲 is equally clear about and eloquent about what her passion is in life. She says that 𝗖𝗲's, or my passion, is in building a sustainable and inclusive economy, co-creating, collaborating with other like-minded people in achieving this. That's very, very clear. And it's seldom that you find people who are so abundantly clear and succinct in their purpose. 𝗖𝗲 specializes in impact investing, strategy development, operational management, business process improvement, business development, program management, impact assessments, and research and training for the development sector. She's currently the director of CCG and special initiatives at Broad Reach Healthcare Development, a social enterprise that focuses on universal healthcare with a specific emphasis on HIV and AIDS. HIV and AIDS prevention and epidemic control using innovative technology to achieve the impact at scale. She's also a founding member of the UNDP founded Pan-African Impact Investing Network, Impact at Africa, which focuses on developing the impact investing ecosystem in Africa through facilitating collaborative efforts between ecosystem stakeholders aimed at addressing the key barriers to impact investing in Africa. Exactly what we need now as a country and as a continent. I think, it's great to be, we're very clear about what 𝗖𝗲, what her purpose is, what she does. She's part of, and I can add to that, she's also part of the International Board of Advisors for Primary Care International, a UK-based social enterprise working to strengthen primary healthcare globally. So there are many things I can tell you about what 𝗖𝗲 does. Of course, one of the most important things, I guess, is the fact that 𝗖𝗲 also completed the MBA at University of Stellenbosch Business School fairly recently. The big thing, however, is not just having completed the MBA at USB. 𝗖𝗲 also won the award as the Alumnus of the Year Award 2020 for her contributions towards social impact. And I'm going to quote directly from the letter as part of her acknowledgement. Your leadership, so this is from the university itself, and note to 𝗖𝗲, your leadership role and contributions to social impact are evidenced by the local and global platforms you have served on since your graduation, especially those creating income-generating opportunities for women in Africa, for the women in African context, as a means of alleviating poverty and creating a more equitable society. That really is a very special achievement. In my mind, though, I think the essence of 𝗖𝗲's character, though, is shown in her response to the award. And again, I'm going to quote 𝗖𝗲. She said, and her comment on LinkedIn, sometimes something just lands in your inbox that makes you pause, take stock of your life, and be truly grateful for all the opportunities you receive and the difference you are able to make in the work you do. I think that's just evidence of Selma's character, who she is as a person. She doesn't just think about these things, she actually goes and she lives it. Selma, very warm welcome. And with that, I'm going to invite you to share your address with us. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ted, and thanks, Chris. I almost wanted to ask who you're talking about because it sounds very fantastical. Thank you so much for having me. And I think the first thing I'd like to do is actually offer a hearty congratulations to you, the alumni of the USB Executive Development, on successfully completing your programs, especially in the context of a global pandemic that has had such a negative impact on so many people. I know that some of you may have been personally affected, but your dedication and perseverance under these circumstances is acknowledged, and I am truly honored to share this special moment with you to celebrate your achievements. Many of you, I understand, have a number of professional hard yards under your belt, and are in fairly, if not the most influential levels of your organizations. I have no doubt that carries a significant level of responsibility, and therefore deciding to be a learner and continue your studies, having this quest for additional skills and knowledge, and then committing to the time investment that comes with that quest, is something that I'd really like to commend you for. I know that it's not a decision that's lightly made, as Tate mentioned, as an alumni of the USB myself, I'm very aware of that. And nor is it a journey that many people see through to completion. We do lose some colleagues along the way for a variety of reasons. But here you are today, having achieved your goal. And I would like to actually encourage you to continue with that thirst for knowledge, that thirst to develop yourself, to acquire more skills, to be a better person, and be a lifelong learner, because it gives you such a sense of curiosity and purpose, which is actually a wonderful tool against aging too quickly, and about on par cost-wise with a range of beauty products. So I think before you pop the champagne or indulge in your favorite dessert, if you're not a drinker, I want to ask you one question. How are you going to use what you've learned, along with all the other knowledge and skills that you already have, to really make a difference in the world? This pandemic has exacerbated complex problems like poverty, climate change, inequality, and we need brilliant minds like yours to come up with innovative solutions to these type of challenges. We need your collective efforts to help us craft a very different future that benefits everyone. And while that sounds like a daunting task, you must start exactly where you are now, in the environment that you're in, with the people around you. Being able to do work that influences the business or the sector that you're in and impacts the people around you in a positive way is truly a gift. It's an opportunity to build a legacy that will live beyond all of us. And every single one of you here today has the power to influence that change. You are exactly what South Africa and the world needs right now. I almost want to say Avengers Assemble for the Marvel fans. But as you move forward on your leadership journey with your newfound knowledge and skills and the relationships that you carry from the USB Ed, please allow me to share with you a few things that I learned in my own leadership journey that I really hope will resonate with you and maybe give you something to reflect on as you go through your journey. So the first thing, and I always say this to a lot of people, is become a nurturer. Nurturing is often perceived to be an extremely feminine trait and one that is not necessarily associated with the business world. I grew up in a home that included a large part of my extended family, and from a very young age, we learned how to operate as part of a community where we took care of each other. And I'm sure many of you have grown up in similar circumstances. So figuring out how to take care of people to ensure that they're thriving has taught me that when you care deeply for people and they feel nurtured, they achieve amazing things. From a business perspective, when you apply that in your business, it makes you and your organization really successful. Now imagine fostering that at a community scale or at a national scale. It really helps you to recognize the role that you play as part of a larger society. Deeply caring for and wanting the best for everyone gives you the motivation and strength to serve for humanity. And when you use that as a basis for decision-making in your business, looking at decisions that care for the planet and for people, you become part of a global force that really contributes to sustainability and equity. The second thing I wanted to talk about was I'm sure many of you have watched Frozen, either willingly or unwillingly if you have children. But embrace your inner Elsa and let it go. So the key thing about this, and this is an important one, is to let go of the urge to control people and to truly empower them to take responsibility for what they do. And I found that this is an area that most leaders struggle. It's a struggle that's deeply rooted in a lifelong fear of failure. From the time we enter the schooling system in our very young formative years, we often got punished for things that we got wrong. And that fear of not knowing or failing follows you throughout your life. And then if you take that in the context of being responsible for the overall success of an organization, that fear of failure is amplified, and it often translates into people wanting to control all aspects of the business, which extends to the people that surround them, and it births a deep level of mistrust for everyone. All the greatest leaders that I've known and worked with have guided rather than dictated, encouraged rather than demanded, and empowered rather than controlled. They were phenomenal at nurturing their people in their organization and helping them to feel safe enough to make mistakes and learn from them. This was a key component to the secret of their success, and one that I've learned to embrace in my own career. It took a long time, though, to overcome the conditioning from the young age. So I really encourage you to focus on that within yourself. The other thing that I want to talk about is about collective wisdom being the true wealth of an organization. I want to encourage you to embrace and actively seek out diversity to enhance your thinking and your decisions. Healthy communities have diverse dynamics because they are made up of individuals who are unique in their life experiences, in their skills, in their knowledge. As a leader, you do not have all the answers to what will make your organization successful, nor should you be expected to. But you can harness the collective wisdom and creativity of the people in your organization. This means creating a culture where the sustainability of the organization is a collective responsibility, and everyone feels comfortable with contributing ideas, insights, no matter what their role is in the organization. And when people know that their recommendations and their ideas will be respected and considered, they are more likely to give you suggestions that bring this level of richness to the quality of your products and services, which is often that secret source of organizational success. So I encourage you to learn to value the input of others, to critically analyze what is being shared and seek the voices that bring different perspectives, because that is often where the gold lies in terms of bringing that level of richness to your organization. So I think those are kind of the main things that I want to share with you. In closing, I would like to once again really congratulate you, the USB Ed alumni of 2021, for your amazing achievements. I do hope you take some time over the next few weeks to pause, to rest, to replenish your energies. And once you are in a good space to take over the world, Avengers, assemble. I wish you all a very safe and happy festive season. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Salma, for that. Oh, you know, I get goosebumps just listening to you. And if I just listen, you know, to what Chris spoke about earlier, and I think about the outcomes we aim to achieve with the programs that we have at USB, there's such an alignment. And you know, and what you said about, you know, our future is really in our collective hands, and it's about us really taking charge and taking responsibility. And I know, you know, a big part of that challenge is about just one's ability and one's willingness just to let go, you know, trust the process, you know, trust people that have the responsibility. Sure, wonderful. Thank you very much, Salma. We really appreciate that, and thank you for your time. Right, good, ladies and gents, please continue to post comments in the chat. We do monitor that. Please remember also to post comments on social media. We have our team looking at that and also monitoring that. Can I just please, 𝗖𝗿𝗂𝗿𝗀𝗺, I'm getting private messages for people sitting in the waiting room trying to get in. If you wouldn't mind, thank you. All right, ladies and gents, we're now getting to that step in the process and the proceedings. We are now going to move on to the virtual presentations of the certificates and the awards. This morning, you know, doing this presentation virtually, we are going to do it a bit differently, obviously. So the names of the participants will be read out. It will also be displayed on your screens. This will be followed by the announcement of the Director's Award for the top student and each of the particular groups, and then finally also the top team award for that same group. Now, maybe just as a bit of background, the Director's Award for the top student. So that is award to, on each of the programs, the individual participants need to complete a number of individual assignments. The Director's Award, Academic Award, then goes to that participant, that learner who achieved the highest average for all the individual assignments. So that really is a special achievement. The Top Team Award, so on all the programs, whether it's the management development or senior management, the EDP, the executive development program, the participants are expected to work in smaller cohorts and syndicate teams, as we refer to them, on very specific business-driven action learning projects, a mouthful. But that's very specifically an opportunity where they can, as a team, small team of five to six people, work on a very specific business-related problem in practically applying their learnings. And in practically applying their learnings, they also learn a lot about dealing with human interactions. Sitting around a virtual table with other people that are your peers, where no single individual have the positional power or the hierarchical power. And that's often where the greatest learnings happen. So the top team then is for that syndicate team who achieved the highest score for both collectively the research document as well as the presentation they do to a panel of experts. So the sequence of events then this morning, we are going to start off with the management development programs. We have 9 cohorts. That will be followed after the management development programs. We'll take that short leg stretch. Please note the emphasis on leg stretch and not a break. And just to remind you again to please stay logged on during that leg stretch. After, when we come back from the break, we will then do the proceedings for the senior management development programs, which we have 4. and then we'll end off with the executive development program. Again, maybe just as a reminder, as we get to the end of each cohort, when we announce the top student and the top team, I'm going to ask you at that point to unmute yourself and to go absolutely wild. Scream and shout. The neighbors must start, think there's something wrong. But go wild, please. I'll give you an indication. So when we get to the announcement at the end of each of the cohorts, for the announcement of the top team and then the director's award. Right, I think we've got that sorted. So I am now going to move on to the management development program. And I'm going to ask Kevin Henderson to join me up here on the virtual stage. So Kevin works as the integrated learning professional at USP Ed. He's also the lead learning process facilitator on the management development program. Maybe just as a bit of background to Kevin. Kevin is actually a psychologist by trade, by qualification, and also has a background as a teacher. Now, Kevin is probably one of those people I know with the highest levels of emotional intelligence. And I think his background, where he comes from, who he is, that's all contributed to making Kevin the person that he is. Kevin, thank you very much. Over to you.
Good morning, everyone. And Thijs, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. It's always scary when people introduce you because you don't know what they're going to say about you. But thank you, Thijs. That was well done. I'm not going to keep you for long. I'm not going to, because I know this time is all about celebrating your achievement. However, I think it's very appropriate for us to do something first. I was so pleased, and it was heartwarming for me when our CEO, Chris, started talking about our brand promise. In my preparation for this morning, I actually started preparing and just wanting to remind us about at USB Ed, what our ambition is. And we say, our ambition is to develop people, impact business, and transform lives. And then one of the ways that we hope to do that is to seek out those long-standing and deep relationships Chris referred to earlier on. And then in collaboration, design and deliver those people development interventions. Now I want to take that aspect of the relationship to one of our key stakeholders at USB Ed, which is a very critical relationship in our environment. And that relationship is the relationship that enables us to do what we promise to our clients, and that's the relationship with our faculty. So I therefore don't think it's inappropriate at this time to acknowledge our faculty for their role they've played in the success of our participants. I think it also wouldn't be incorrect to say that today, to a large extent, is made possible by the role the faculty does play. Faculty ordinarily would play one of two roles. One, they either sometimes act as a subject matter expert, and the other role that faculty can sometimes play is the role as a learning process facilitator. So to the faculty who play the role of subject matter experts, and sometimes they play both roles, but to the ones who play the role of subject matter experts, I would like to leave you with a quote from a psychologist, 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁𝗁𝗁, where Vygotsky says the teacher must adopt the role of facilitator, not content provider. And a big success of what we offer at the USB Ed is due to the ability of our faculty to adopt the role of facilitator and not just a content provider. On behalf of our CEO and the entire USB Ed team, we would like to acknowledge you for the manner in which you have assisted us through being a facilitator to keep our brand promise to our customers and our clients. Your adaptability, your poise, professionalism, and dedicated is indeed noted and appreciated. In fact, when Salma was talking about being a lifelong learner, I thought to myself, that's exactly what our faculty is, the personification of lifelong learning. The last 2 years has not been easy, but in spite of this difficulty, you were always there to help us find ways to honor our promise and help us drive our ambition. To the recipients of the certificates today, well done. I would like to acknowledge your hard work and appreciate you choosing the USB Ed as your learning partner. We trust that you will also become a brand ambassador of the USB Ed. And then just quickly around the other role faculty does play, that's the job of being a facilitator. And Harrison Owen says the job of the facilitator is not to keep things on time, but rather to enable the creation of safe time. And so the learning process facilitators, thank you for your contribution in succeeding in the way that you have created a safe space for our participants to learn. Your work, as can be seen through the many messages of appreciation from participants, is sincerely appreciated. To all faculty, we salute you as we continue to build an even deeper relationship. Thank you. I am going to say something about the MDP program before we get going with the procession. However, I would maybe just ask us to take a minute to do the following. We all know that the pandemic has played havoc with our lives for the last 2 years, and many of us have lost colleagues, friends, family, and loved ones during this time. Unfortunately, at the USB Ed, we've also suffered some losses, and particularly on some of our programs. At this time, as we prepare to celebrate the success of our participants, we would like to take a short moment to commemorate 2 of our participants on the MDP who passed during this year. To the families of 𝗖𝗿𝗿𝗁𝗁𝗺 Munyengwa and 𝗔𝗹𝗂𝗺𝗁𝗺, we share in your loss, and we trust that you will find peace during this time. You will remain in our thoughts and prayers. Maybe let's take a minute. Thank you. As we're getting ready now for the procession of the MDPs, allow me to say a short word around or about our management development program. In today's competitive and ever-changing business environment, entrepreneurial thinking will shape the future of organizations. We've seen more and more organizations asking us for programs helping develop entrepreneurial thinking within the organization as well. But the environment that we are working in requires a better understanding than ever of how the business operates and reinforce the need for managers to ensure that they do not perform their management roles in isolation. The MDP, therefore, equips participants to converse across a range of business disciplines, encouraging collaboration and building on their business acumen. Through this experience, the participants will be better equipped to identify opportunities through innovation, whilst they're building unique leadership capabilities that develop both social and cultural intelligence. A big part of this is achieved through the business-driven action learning project, as the participants will fondly know as the BDAL, and some would call it the BDAL project, which is an integrated business challenge that requires a solution using business research methodology. And the BDAL has the following objectives. 1, to provide an opportunity for the participants to demonstrate their ability to integrate the concepts, the topics, the discussions of the modules covered in the MDP. 2, to demonstrate the ability to analyze a business opportunity and propose a workable business plan to maximize this opportunity. And then lastly, to simulate and stimulate teamwork within the syndicate groups. And so when you see these participants receiving their certificates this morning, this is what they have been through, and this is what we are hoping they've been empowered with to do in their everyday lives. Thijs, I will hand back to you so that we can proceed with the MDP award procession. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you also for that commemoration. Yeah, we really appreciate that. Also, just an acknowledgement. We are going to move on straight then with the Management Development Program procession. And I'm going to hand over to our technical team to lead the way. Right, ladies and gents, please unmute yourself.
Congrats, everybody.
Awesomeness.
Wow, doesn't look like they want to do that. I don't know.
Congrats, Beulah.
Create a problem because we wasn't a problem here.
Love you, my Susie. Congratulations.
Congratulations, B. I'm so proud of you.
Congrats, Sandy.
Dana, Cindy, Bungi, Sandy.
Congratulations, Nabuse. Happy loves you.
Oh, truth.
Congrats, Tozi.
Well done, Toz.
Thank you, Sandy. Congrats, Wanda. Congrats, Emina. Ermina, well done. Congrats, Leo.
Congrats, Manit.
Congrats, Lai. Congrats, Eddie.
Oh, congrats.
Way to go, Faith. Well done, Scott.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Matsi.
Congrats. Congrats, B.
Congrats, Yesh. Congrats, V.
Well done.
Congrats, great.
Congrats to all the second partners.
Well done, change gurus.
Thank you.
Congrats, Sabrina.
Sorry. Thank you. Congrats, Rashni.
Congratulations, Resh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, Ziggy Santia. Gone.
Well done. Well done, Paula.
Congrats, Bobo. Oh, well done, Seko.
Well done, Checo.
Good job, guys.
Well done, Zydo. Well done.
Well done, guys.
Well done, everyone.
Well done, Lulama. Well done, guys.
Well done, Zyda, Joanne. Well done. Great stuff, everybody.
Ashley.
No, Ashley.
Well done, Angie.
Well done,
TFG.
Well done, everyone.
Lekker, Yumna.
Well done, Beulah.
Well done.
Well done,
Ashley.
Well done. Thanks, guys.
Well done, lobsters. Well done.
Well done, Ashley. Go, Lobster.
Go lobsters. Thank you, Kevin.
Congratulations, Cheslin.
Congratulations, everybody.
Hola Tux, hola Tux.
Well done to me. Well done, Nana.
Hey, well done Bunke, well done.
Well done, Natasha.
Congratulations.
Well done, Howard.
Do it. The mark.
Well done, Jason.
Well done, Scotty. Well done, Scotty.
Oh, no. Oh, Natasha.
Natasha.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done,
That's my
Pioneers.
dear. Well done. Well done.
Wait. Henry. Well done, Judy. What is Vani? Well done.
Well done, Beatrice.
Good time.
Well done,
Well done.
Hey.
Well done.
Well done.
You team.
Well done, my B.
Well done.
Well done, Takalani.
Well done, Howard.
Well done, Peggy.
Well done.
Thank you. Joseph.
Joseph. Well done, Joseph.
Well done, Joseph.
Hey, Charles.
Congratulations.
Well done, Foster.
Woohoo, Lucille. Well done, Cody. Well done, Franco.
Well done, Teresa.
Congrats, Teresa.
Franco.
7-8.
Well done, Tipu. Well done, Wayne.
Well done, Wayne.
Up here.
Megan.
Well done, Megan.
Linda. Well done.
Welcome to Lisa. Woo!
Congratulations, Mr. Mamsen.
Hold on, Andrew. Hold on, Kevin.
Nice, Wendy.
Go below.
Ready, well done. Elvie, well done.
Hold on, Ruth.
Nice, Ruth. Look at Rebecca. Good Margie. Antonio. Elizabeth, nice. Henry, woo! Ashley.
Ashley.
Well done.
Wow, Mandy, wow.
Mandy.
Well done, guys.
Well done, Spaz goals. Elias, well done.
Good goes, eh?
Thomas. Sele. Sele. Yes. Well done. Ashi. Congratulations to Lego.
Class.
Oh, Danny.
Nathan. Sally.
Sally.
Oh, well done, the bees.
Ah, don't do
Ivy!
Hey, Alex.
Well done, guys. Ladies, well done, well done.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Well done, Nats. Well done, Millie. Well done, Mel. Dedu, lovely to see you.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Hi, Nazarene.
Hi, Naz. Well done, David.
Hey, Dave.
Patience, David.
Excellent, Raymond. Stuff. Well done, Mr. Nene. Well done, Kotoko. Well done, JJ.
Congratulations, you better.
Moy and Thea. Excellent, Sam.
Well done,
Well done, Jessica. Rajiv, congrats. Well done, Samurai. Thank you, Clive. Well done. Well done, Rachel. Hey, Tomo. Yes, Wendy. Well done, Zelda.
That's Tomo.
Well done. Emilia, Hamid. Well done, Linky. JJ, well done. Well done, Jason. Oh, congrats, Andre. Well done. Good job. Well done, Henriette. Natalie, well done.
Natalie.
Joseph. Oh yeah, well done, guys. Well done.
Wow.
Oh, that was fantastic.
That was nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
No.
Well done. Really a heartfelt, warm, well done to all those participants on the management development program. Remember, this is only the start of your journey now. So a year after, we're looking forward to seeing you all on the senior management development program next year, and then the executive program the year thereafter. But the most important thing is, someone made the comment earlier, I think it was Malcolm, as a matter of fact. Remember, it is now about practicing what you've learned. You've got the knowledge now, but now the true value really comes in when you apply all these things that you've learned. That's where the greatest opportunity and the greatest wealth is. So well done once again to all of you. I want to encourage you, when we get to the senior management program, forget what I said earlier about not, as we go through the process, just go wild. Don't have to wait till then. Ignore what I said earlier. I'm following Selma's advice, and I'm letting go of control. So just go wild whenever you want to go. Selma, thank you for your words of wisdom there. So please proceed with that. So as the names roll across your screen, please go wild. All right, ladies and gents, we are running slightly ahead of schedule, which is always a good thing. But so we're going to take our leg stretch now. The emphasis, please, on leg stretch as opposed to break. So please do not log off. Please do stay online. Just go and fill up your cup of coffee or tea or whatever that you have, what your beverage of choice is. Please come back. We're going to start promptly on the dot 10:20. On the dot 10:20, we will commence again. Please do come back, customers. We're waiting here for you. We will then proceed with the Senior Management Development Program on the dot 10:20. Enjoy your leg stretch. Please post on social media whilst you're taking your leg stretch. There we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back. There we go. May I ask you to please turn on your videos, if you don't mind, just to see that we're actually talking to human beings, not a robot. There we go. Thanks, Wonderboy. So too, Shane. I see you there. Chanel, Sakumzi, David. Good to see you again.
How's it taste?
How's it, David? Please, ladies and gents, turn on your videos. David, MT, Sarina, Kanyo, 𝗔𝗹𝗂𝗺 𝗔𝗹𝗂𝗺𝗺𝗺 Tiro, Timakatso, you back in the room? There's Mr. Henderson is there. Thomas, please turn on your videos. There we go. Detiro, thank you. There you go. I see the Makatso is back in the room. Welcome back, Natalie. Walter, you're my old friend. Good to see you again. All the way from the Eastern Cape. Good. There we go. Please, ladies and gents, if I can ask you, turn on your videos. There you go. I'll see Alberta's in the waiting room. She's going to be joining us shortly. She promised to bring some coffee and cookies. There we go. There you go. Okay, good to see you as well, virtually. Many years ago, okay, since last I saw you. Welcome back, ladies and gents. Please turn on your videos whilst we wait for the
Hi, thanks.
Alberta, did you bring us some nice tea and cookies?
You owe me a box of chocolate.
A box of chocolate. I do. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, ladies and gents, I think let's proceed. I think it looks like we have all the important people back in the room. So I think I'm gonna start then. So I'm going to continue now with the Senior Management Development Program. So maybe by way of introduction, so I'm fortunate I'm fortunate in the sense, in many ways, a lot to be grateful for. But I'm fortunate in the sense also that I play the role as learning process facilitator on the Senior Management Development Program, amongst many others, but I'm fortunate to be one of them based in the Western Cape. Not that it makes a difference anymore because we are working virtually with people all over Africa and the world for that matter. But yeah, so part of my responsibility is that of learning process facilitator on the Senior Management Development Program. It is really a program that I've developed a very keen passion for over the last number of years that I've been working on this program with all the lovely people that we have in the room today. So the purpose with the program, there's the official purpose with the program, and then there's my version of it. So those of you who've been through the program with me will know that I always maintain that this program is essentially about thinking, and thinking about your thinking as you are thinking. We talk about metacognition, beta thinking. Chris spoke earlier, Chris and Tom, as a matter of fact, spoke about the importance of learning and about the importance of reflecting. And you'll hear Roger talking about it later as well. But that really, in my mind, is what this program is about. It's really about learning to take time out to think consciously, and then to think very specifically at a strategic level. So we make the distinction if we say, so if we talk about strategy, we talk about strategy in relation to operations, and we're saying the strategic questions about asking the why questions, the purpose questions, and about asking the what questions, the effectiveness questions rather than the efficiency questions. How do we do things? So the purpose with the program really is about one's ability to see the organization within the context of this industry, within the context of society, that society that Salma was talking about earlier, to understand that as an organization, what our responsibilities are in terms of dealing with the societal and in our environmental issues. And then to take that strategic direction that we get from those at the top and translate that into practical strategic doing stuff within the organization. Now, a lot of the work that I do, ladies and gents, at USBED and even outside of USBED is working with leaders at this level. And I'll go as far as to say my partial truth, my multiple partial truth, is that that is one of the biggest gaps in organizations, is that level where we have to translate direction that the organization is going in, to translate that into practical operational stuff for implementation within the organization. And that's really what we learn, what people learn coming on the Senior Management Development Program. So as you can hear, a program that I have true passion for. So before I get carried away, I think it's probably appropriate that we start then with the SMDP, the Senior Management Development Program award procession. Again, I want to encourage you to please go wild as the names scroll across the screen. Go wild. The neighbors must start looking over the windows. Your colleagues across down the corridors must come and look what's happening and what's going on. So please go wild as the names scroll across the screen. And with that, let's then please commence with the Senior Management Development Program award procession. presents congratulations to all our Senior Management Development Program participants. I know it's been a long year. I had the joy and the pleasure of sharing that with two of the cohorts, two of the groups that have been through this process. I know at times you hated me, but I trust that by the time we finish the program, you got great learnings. I know you did. I know you did. And again, like I said, for those who have been through the MDP, the real challenge, the real learning actually only starts now. It's like going to the gym. You can't just go to the gym once. You have to persevere. And you must understand that that system is going to keep on pushing back. You have to persevere. I want to wish you well with the application of your learnings. I want to wish you well with your lives and with your careers. I know you're going to make a huge success of it. In the words of what Salma said earlier, it is really in your hands now. So well done to each and every one of you. It is really a special achievement. All right. So let's move on to the next step in this process. We are, as you might know, well, those who have been through the Senior Management Development Program will know, but for the rest of our audience as well, we have a very special relationship. So we, in USB Ed, has a very special relationship with the Lincoln University in the UK, in the sense that Lincoln University offers the opportunity for people who have successfully completed the Senior Management Development Program, the SMDP, to continue their studies at Lincoln University towards an undergraduate degree in a BA degree in business management or an area of your choice. We're also very fortunate in the sense that a bursary is awarded by Lincoln University to the top student or the top students in this case this year. So that really is something special. Well, firstly, just the fact that we have the opportunity to continue with our studies, or you have the opportunity to continue with your studies towards an undergraduate degree at a recognized UK-based university. And then, of course, to those who will be the lucky winners of the two bursaries this morning, we'll announce this morning, even greater achievement to them. We do have Professor Tracy White. Tracy is from Lincoln University. We do have her in the virtual room this morning, I have been told. So Tracy is an associate professor for learning and innovation at Lincoln University, and she also is the international lead at Lincoln University for Southern Africa. So I'm going to ask Tracy to tell us a little bit more about this Lincoln USB Ed relationship, and then also talk a bit more about the BA honors degree in business management. Once Tracy has shared her thoughts with us, we will then announce the winners, in this case, of the two bursaries. So please come back, listen. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tracy White, and I'm an associate professor from Lincoln International Business School at the University of Lincoln. And I'm joining you from the UK today. First of all, I'd like to thank my colleagues at USB Ed for allowing me to participate in this wonderful celebration of your success today. I'd like to convey my congratulations to each and every one of you on your achievements. Every year we have these celebrations, but in many ways this one is extra special, as you've succeeded in balancing work, life and study through a pandemic, which demonstrates resilience, which, as I'm sure you know, is a crucial characteristic of a great leader and manager, coping and adapting through disruptive change. The University of Lincoln has had a partnership with USB Ed for over 10 years and provides successful graduates of the Senior Management Development Programme the opportunity to progress onto an undergraduate top-up degree. That's the final level of an undergraduate degree. We value the SMDP, along with your experiences in the workplace, as being equivalent to 240 credits, leaving the remaining 120 credits for you to complete. And this can be done through our work-based and distance learning programs, which are delivered totally online. And they're in business management, HRM, logistics management, and engineering management. So if you're looking to progress with your studies, this is one opportunity which is available to you. Every year we provide bursaries of £1,000 to the top students towards their fees of the programme. And we've seen many USB Ed students join us and go on to successfully achieve a degree and graduate here at the University of Lincoln. So to all of you from the SMDP, there will be an announcement later as to who has won. And the winners, whilst I cannot be there in person to present to you your bursary, I'm so very pleased for you. And to every one of you, a final heartfelt congratulations. And I hope to welcome you to the University of Lincoln one day in the future.
Oh, thank you very much, Tracy, in her absence, but thank you very much for sharing that information with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to just emphasize again the significance of this award. So this is really for those students who have achieved over and above. To be awarded this bursary from Lincoln is really, really an absolutely special achievement. And normally they would have one bursary only, but because it was so close this year, Tracy agreed. Tracy and in collaboration with our marketing team, with Kerry and the other internal stakeholders, to announce two winners. So our two winners this year is, can we have a drum roll? The first one, 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁𝗁. 𝗖𝗲𝗿𝗁𝗁.
Oh my God!
There goes my
Well done, well done, well done. Thank you so much, Lincoln University.
Well done,
Congratulations.
Well done, Captain.
Well done.
I can't emphasize enough how proud you should be, and all your loved ones and all those that you work with and have worked with during the course of this year. It really is a very, very special achievement. But to 𝗔𝗍𝗿 and to Kirsty, we trust that you will take Tracy up on her offer of that bursary, and obviously you're going to cum laude that BA degree as well, without a shadow of a doubt. I must say, just having congratulated 𝗔𝗍𝗿 and Kirsty, this was a really, really close race. We had in the final analysis, it almost came down to a 0.2% difference between the fortunate ones and the less fortunate ones. So it was really a close race, not just to the two of them, but to all the other top achievers as well. Good, thank you very much. So we're going to move on. We're now going to move on to the awarding of the Executive Development Program certificates. And I'm going to ask Dr. Roger Maitland to tell us more about this program. But as Roger makes his way towards the stage, maybe just by way of introduction again. So Roger works as the Executive Learning Integrator on the Executive Development Program. Roger is also very actively involved with the MPhil in management coaching at the University of Stellenbosch Business School. So he brings that richness of coaching to this learning experience. Roger, certainly to the point that Kevin made earlier, as a matter of fact, Roger, in my mind, is the absolute personification of the continuous learner. You might not know, but Roger completed an international qualification as an EMCC Master Accredited Transition Coach in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic last year. I know I worked with Roger during that time on various other projects, and I know it was a tough one. So Roger, we look up to you as an example of a continuous learner. Over to you, Roger. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Tace, and good morning to everybody, and congratulations on your tremendous achievement through this year. One that I'm sure will pay off in the years to come. The Executive Development Program is our flagship program at the USB Ed, and it's a challenging journey that requires tremendous commitment. focused on building responsible leadership practice. It requires that each participant reflects deeply on their own perceptions and values, whilst developing the advanced systems thinking capabilities are needed to address complex challenges of our time. So whilst reflective practice is required on all our programs, the EDP participants have to experiment with many different techniques, use taxonomies to examine and increase the quality of their reflective practice. So they really are put through their paces. The learning journey culminates in a sector-wide project that tasks groups to navigate the transition from linear to circular economies, tackling tough challenges in sectors such as electricity generation, fashion, plastics, and diamonds, to mention a few. Despite the challenges of COVID, this year's cohort has had record performance in both the group assignments, but also the final reflective essays. And I really want to extend huge congratulations that above all odds, each participant has stuck through the process and made tremendous achievements. I would like to take you back to a quote that we started with right at the beginning of the program at the 𝗔𝗹𝗂𝗺 Hotel, which was by Socrates. Socrates said that education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. And to remind you of that it's your job now to keep that flame burning. And as we navigate these very uncertain times, these times characterized by disruption and by enormous uncertainties and threats, that task has never been more important. So my hugest congratulations, and we will now watch a short video to get a little snippet and taste of the experience on the EDP.
The reason I joined this executive program because I had this basically one of the best in Africa. So I wanted to be in a program that is very intense, that will stretch my limits of thinking, challenge my current paradigms.
I chose to be part of the program because with so much change happening that is so dynamic around the world, there is a requirement for us to continue to change, to be willing to change, and to really bring new thinking in terms of finding the best solutions. And I think for me, one of the most important things about the program, it should be about how much of what I learn affects my life and my plans for the future and how I just become a better person overall.
I chose this program to accelerate my development as a business leader. I think great networking and get maybe diversity of ideas, local and abroad, since there's people from outside the country.
I chose to go on this program, really to push my boundaries a bit, looking to say, well, what's the next step in terms of my personal development, in terms of my education, to really advance and look at the world with a bit of a different looking glass.
It wasn't anything that I imagined, and the way that the session is being delivered, it's not like a classroom, it's different, it's inspiring, it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's life.
My heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. This is a day to feel proud and to acknowledge the work you have done in developing yourself as a future fit leader. The work you've put in will assist you to tackle and contribute towards the critical challenges facing humanity and pay off over the years to come. I encourage you, you have been very well prepared, and I encourage you to really step up and to contribute to some of these really crucial issues that are facing our generation. Huge congratulations to each one of you. Thank you very much. We'll now watch the procession.
Shane.
Well done, everybody.
Mine. Etienne. Natasha. Linda. Melissa. Wow!
Congratulations, African attendance.
Yeah, well done.
Oh, African
Well done.
Well done, everyone.
Congratulations, everybody.
Well done, well done.
Guys.
Congratulations,
Well done,
everybody.
Grant.
Well done, well done. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I can only echo what Roger said. This really is, certainly in terms of the USBED programs, our flagstone program. Salome is still very excited there. So congratulations, a very hearty congratulations to each and every one of you. And then obviously, even more so to Leonora. Leonora, I believe you are in the room. Leonora, can I ask you to maybe... Oh, there you go, Leonora.
Yes, I am.
Very well done.
Thank you so much.
To be awarded the top student on the Executive Development Program is really, really a special achievement.
Thank you.
How are you feeling at this stage? What are you feeling?
I'm relieved that it's over. Really relieved. It took a lot out of us. And congratulations to everyone for all the support, all the graduates of the Executive Development Program. Well done, guys.
Leonora, you know, we do have this tradition at USBED with a certificate ceremony that we do ask, kindly so, of the top student on the EDP just to talk briefly, you know, for half an hour or so about their learning. No, it doesn't have to be half an hour. No, just very briefly. Talk a bit about what are some of the things that really stuck in your mind from having been on this program. What do you see as the future? What are your thoughts? How will you be applying what you've learned? Just briefly.
For me, yes, I am comfortable. Thanks, Stace. For me, the biggest learnings were to challenge the way I've been thinking as a leader, and challenging the way leaders in our country and in Southern Africa are thinking about the way we tackle solutions and the way we strive to work in developing our countries. So the way when we started and we were challenged to stop thinking analytically and start thinking systemically and approach problem solving from a systemic basis was a big thing that I have taken going forward as well. And I've started applying that in my day-to-day work at Nedbank. I think there is a huge responsibility for everyone that was on this program as senior leaders in the country to come up with solutions that will develop our economy and solve one of the biggest challenges in our country, which is unemployment, and put South Africa in the stage where it was previously. I'm very grateful to the support from Roger and Arena and the feedback that we received from all the lecturers on the program.
Good one. Thank you very much, Leonora. Yeah, and sure. You know, on behalf of all of us, we want to really truly wish you well with your career and with the application of all your learnings. Well done once again. All right.
Thank you.
Ladies and gents, we are As the participants walked this morning across this virtual stage to receive the certificates of competence, they're also now joining the USB network or USB alumni network. Now, this is both a privilege and an achievement. Our alumni network is made up of almost 30,000 graduates who have achieved success in managerial and leadership positions across the globe. As we heard from Salma earlier this morning, the vision of USB and USB's Alumni Association is to build our brand and to offer the most desirable alumni association in Africa. Now, to tell you a little bit more about this exciting opportunity and to welcome you, our new alumni, I would like to call upon one of our USB and Alumni Association representatives, Prof. 𝗔𝗹𝗂𝗺𝗊. Before I hand over, I see Terence is in the room. Terence, before I hand over the mic to you, so just maybe by way of introduction again. So Terence has, I suppose, almost the epitome of all the things we have been talking about this morning. World Economic Forum, young global leader, extraordinary professor of practice in leadership, AI, machine learning, mentorship of Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences at Northwest University, Young Presidents Organization, Healthcare Business Network, and so the list continues and on and on and on. He's a keynote speaker in the following areas: managed healthcare strategy, medical law, negligence, leadership strategy, and very proudly so featured as a November 2012 cover feature leader on the South African government's Public Sector Manager magazine. This publication is a pinnacle publication of government directed at executive levels and strategic level decision makers. Previous cover profiles have also included presidents and ministers. Terence, we're looking forward to you just sharing with us what the Alumni Association is about. And yeah, thank you very much, Terence.
Thank you so much for having me, Thais. And esteemed colleagues, firstly, heartiest congratulations to all of you. Thais, thanks for the kind introduction, but I think it's celebration of our peers and fellow alumni today that's more important right now. So again, heartiest congratulations on your completion and graduation in your programs and various courses, and a heartiest welcome to Alumni Association. But before I go very briefly, but into some of the details of the Alumni Association and my thoughts, I wanted to share a quick analogy, a short story of something that happened in a hospital in Pretoria pre-pandemic. There was a Spanish patient that was brought by the embassy for treatment at the hospital, a significant hospital in Pretoria, and she clearly didn't speak the language very much. And through a translator during the admission, being a diplomat patient, the translator assisted to share some of the complaints that the patient had. And in that process, what it sounded like, the translator told the professor, the patient complains of back pain, and it's almost like she's half pregnant. And that resulted in the professor writing in the notes, 1/2 pregnant ? Moved on, and he did the rest of the notes. And interestingly, 2 days later, he went on leave. But him being the head of the department, nobody bothered to do anything else and challenge what he did. So here you have a foreign language patient in a hospital, and the more she complained in her broken, barely word or two English, the more they comforted her, because she was essentially a VIP. And she had feet swelling, and they put her in a wheelchair, and she needed something, and they helped her to eat. And she complained, and they just managed what they saw, because the professor says she's a pregnant patient. And this went on for a week, till eventually her husband, who finally arrived in South Africa, came in, met with some of the treatment team, and wanted to know what's going on. But luckily, on the morning before he arrived, a young intern came along and actually listened to some of the patient's complaints. And in her broken communication, although everyone else said she's confused about this pregnancy, he said, how about I go do a dipstick? So he went and did a pregnancy test and came back. Lo and behold, the patient's not pregnant. So when the husband comes in, they asked, and he said, it couldn't be. She's had her tubes tied 5 years ago. What they missed was a significant medical condition in the patient. And, for confidentiality, I won't get into the detail. But here's the analogy I want to draw from that. The fact that the cleverest guy or the senior most manager makes a decision doesn't mean he's right. The fact that somebody at the top makes a note on something that's out of context, because what the professor had actually written when we went back and looked at the notes was 1/2 ? The patient's analogy, she's half pregnant. Everyone thought she was 12 weeks pregnant, which is where the confusion came about. Sometimes it takes a young person with a new tool set, and young, that means in spirit and mind, with new tools and new thinking, to look for what the client wants, what they need, and not what the consultant or the interpreter says they need, so you can actually give them what they want, because you may inadvertently be creating frustration beyond all of that. And that's exactly why I believe a lot of you who are already extensive leaders in your different domains in the country, but the tools and the experience and relationships you've built will assist you to start challenging the status quo, challenge what you're being told, not to disrupt for disruption's sake, but challenge what we take for granted, because that's exactly what our country needs. And that's exactly what people are saying we should be doing, but we need to do it conscientiously, with integrity and purposefully. Because my motto in life has always been, follow not the path of others, but make your own so that others may see and follow. And that's critically important. In terms of the USB Ed Alumni Association, the common thread is it's not just peers in this program, but 30,000 peers who've been on this journey at a slightly different time from you. But they're thinking their needs and wants to make a significant difference first in themselves, then their families, their communities, their country, and the world is exactly the same. And hence the alignment with such an illustrious institution and the programs that USB Ed offers and the broader University of Stellenbosch. In terms of the thinking, what I want us to take away, and our amazing keynote speakers, Stace and the others from the faculty have already said this, but my understanding is disruption is not just about the tool sets, but purposely aligning your needs with that of the broader community and the organization so that you can create significant value together whilst challenging the status quo. And that's an underlying note from me. The other thing that I want to mention, and I'm sure all of you already appreciate this, and as you move up, you'll see more of it, leadership is lonely. It's extremely lonely at the top, no matter where you are. This alumni association creates access to peers, mentors, friends, and even young minds that you want to reflect with and engage with, to help you understand that you have people who had and have similar challenges like you every day and are willing to engage with you because you're a fellow alumni and you have access to them, which makes significant value and relationships easier for you to also reduce that loneliness, but create somewhere to reflect and ponder with someone listening. To me, in summary, impact and sustainability is not just about converting annual reports to integrated reports and making things look good when we present it to shareholders. It's about creating real on-the-ground value to communities, families, and non-shareholding stakeholders, because that's what actually counts. In the last 2 lines I'd like to share with you, simply put, our kids in the world will judge us and our legacies, not by what we theorize, but by what we actually do. And more importantly, not by the mistakes we made in trying to do it, but by the actions we chose not to take. A safe place to network and a safe place to share with our peers and colleagues is in the Alumni Association. Please reach out, register your profiles on the USB Ed profile, join the community networks, and actively participate. What value you generate is in your hands. Again, heartiest congratulations and welcome to the USB Ed alumni.
Thank you very much, Terence. Thank you very much. Yeah. I think I can just echo what Terence has said. This is such a great opportunity. Chris, this morning when he did the official welcome, also alluded to the fact that, you know, these networks and these relationships are so powerful. Kevin also spoke about it, and so did Salma. So one would almost be foolish not to join this powerful alumni association. Terence, thank you very much for that. Right, ladies and gents, we are now, as a matter of fact, coming towards the end of our proceedings. You know, we looked forward to this day from the start, from the beginning of the year. Now we're here, now we're almost done. So I am going to ask 𝗔𝗹𝗂𝗺𝗀𝗀 Koning, Trish is the commercial director at USB Ed, to join us up on the virtual stage to do the final thanks, tributes, and farewells. Thank you, Trish. Welcome.
Thank you, Tace. So thank you and congratulations to all our brand new alumni and those who are existing
for choosing us as your learning partner. Thanks for co-creating a wonderful experience this year. And we look forward to following your success and celebrating your growth and achievements. I must say that I've come across a lot of MDPs and other senior and executive level teams with really unusual syndicate names, from innovations and game changers, and there's many that crop up, but the Lobsters has to take the cake there. So if there's a prize for originality, I think it's the Lobsters. Moving on to a final thanks to our open enrollment team. So to Claire, Kevin, Arena, Samantha, Charmaine, and Amira more recently, thank you so much for all your work during the year. I'd also like to extend a really big thank you to our marketing team for pulling off this golden event, and especially Kerry. Kerry's our marketing director and had a big hand in this, so thank you. Last but not least, I would like to wish you all everything of the best in every step of your journey, and please take Salma's words with you. Moving on, we have a special tribute for someone, and I'm really hoping that the spotlight can go on her shortly. A special tribute to Arena 𝗿𝗁, a stalwart USB Ed program manager who has truly been a USB Ed pillar since joining USB Ed in 2006. There will be an arena-shaped hole in USB Ed when she leaves, and we wish her absolutely all the best in the next stage of her journey. Arena, you're welcome to say a word or two if you wish. No? Okay. So a big thank you on behalf of everybody, and stay safe and stay well and enjoy your retirement. I think the EDP would not be the same without you. And the work that you put into it is really appreciated. I know you've seen many, many MDPs pass this way in your time as well. So thank you so much. Once again, to all the participants, congratulations, enjoy your success, and go well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trish. Thank you very much. Yeah, and Arena, a very fond farewell. I can imagine it's quite an emotional time for you as well. I know you're going to be spending the time with your loved ones, with your grandchildren, and I know you're really looking forward to that. So, ladies and gents,
thank you.
We've really come to the end of the proceedings now. So maybe just finally, just from my side, just to add to what Trish said, a final thank you again to all the companies represented here, to the family, to the friends for allowing your participants on the program to spend their time with us over the last year. Your support has been invaluable. Without your support, they wouldn't have been able to achieve what they have achieved. So thank you for trusting us with your learning journey. I want to wish you well. I want to wish you a safe, healthy, fabulous festive period. You know, we talk about social distancing. I'm a strong believer in maintaining public distancing. But in these times, we need to be socially connected. So be socially connected, spend good quality time with your loved ones. I want to wish you well. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Days.
Thank you.
Thank you, Days. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Days. Festive season.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. Bye.
Ohana, Team Ohana, love you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Arina.
Bye bye
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yes, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.